Welcome to Fireside Yankees. My name is Alex with my co-host here, Ryan Garcia, and today we're talking about the players starting to come out and voice their concerns about this Yankee team. Now, we all know Boone's been coming out here saying there's still hope. We can still save the season. There's still light at the end of the tunnel, but we all know that the prospects should have been called up maybe even weeks ago. The best thing this team can do right now is look to the future and start to formulate a plan that actually resembles a plan, something that gives us some confidence that they know what they're doing. Instead, they're just doing nothing, and like they're just writing out the same exact plan they have been all year, and it hasn't worked. And neither of us know what's going on. If you guys have watched our videos, you already know that we're confused about the strategy here, but we want to talk about the players coming out yesterday after the loss, 8th consecutive loss, and the first time that's happened since 1995, and they were swept by the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox were literally partying. When I tell you Alex Cora was covered in beer, apparently, according to the Red Sox beat reporters, that it was like a World Series win for them. They walked into Yankee Stadium, they kicked the living shit out of us, and that's unacceptable. I mean, I don't think Hal Steinbrenner cares as long as he's making money, but at the end of the day, if he does care, if there is a semblance of care in his body, you cannot be happy about the Red Sox coming in and celebrating in your clubhouse after sweeping your ass. It is just bad. We are down bad. This is the lowest point I think we've felt in a long time, and we're going to give you guys some of the quotes that the players are actually saying now, which is problematic because they're feeling it. Like, Boone may be saying that our confidence is okay, we're doing okay. They don't sound okay, guys. They sound really freaking bad. They sound like they are frustrated, confused, unsure, and I mean, that reflects back on management, reflects back on the leadership. But Ryan, how you doing today? And after yesterday's loss, I imagine you're not doing too well.
Yeah, I've definitely been better. And right now the Yankees are in a weird spot. Like, as you mentioned, it's not just a matter of, hey, the Yankees are struggling, they're playing bad baseball, and that happens, right? Like, at the end of the day, we haven't seen a Yankee team that's been genuinely bad in our entire lifetimes, right? So, I mean, it was bound to happen at some point, right? Like, it happened in the 80s, it happened in the late 60s. It's a cycle, right? Like, it's gonna have to happen. But this is just being nonsensical at this point, right? Like, you can't go out there and try to, make it seem like Billy McKinney getting every day at bats over Everson Pereira is a genuinely productive thing for your franchise. Luis Severino starting, I believe, Wednesday. I think Rodon's coming back Tuesday. Why is Severino pitching? Why is he here? Like, what is the intrinsic value of Luis Severino making another start? If they don't think he's bad, or if they think that there's something still there in Severino, I don't know what to say, because it's you can't convince yourself that bad players aren't as bad as they actually are. I look at his ERA since July and it's 11, right? Like, that's what I see, right? And I see that he's given up 20 home runs this season, and I don't even think he's made 20 starts, right? That's what I see. That's what everyone watching the games sees. That's what anyone looking at the data sees. He's not a good pitcher. His vertical break on his fastball is completely erased. It's gone down a cliff. It doesn't have the action it used to have. Why is he still here, right? Like, I give those starts to Richard Fitz. I mean, give those starts to somebody else, just anybody else, Randy Vasquez, just anybody. It's not good enough right now. I'm not learning anything about this team, and that's really the thing that bothers me. Outside of the occasional Anthony Volpe at bat and just making sure certain guys stay healthy, like Judge and Cole, et cetera, I'm not learning anything from these games. There's nothing to watch for. There is nothing to pull away from these games. I mean, we can sit here and talk about, like, hey, this is why they're not good, but why they're not good has been the reason they haven't been good all season, right? Oh, the Yankees don't have a left fielder. We've known this since 2022, right? The last time the Yankees ended a season and then entered a season with a left field plan in place was when they had Joey Gallo. And Joey Gallo was not a very good Yankee, right? Like, the end of 2021, entering 2022, Joey Gallo was your left fielder. That's the last time the Yankees had a left fielder penciled in, right? So once he started slumping, once we get to the deadline, you get Benintendi, the issue with his hamate bone, he breaks it. He's a free agent, so you don't know your left fielder is coming into the season. I mean, come on, like, that's not good enough, right? Like, how you don't know who your left fielder is. So Pereira should be here, right? Like, that's a logical conclusion, except for the New York Yankees, who can't make those logical conclusions, right? Oswald Peraza, I don't know if he's good or not, but I want to figure it out, right? Like, I want to know. I need to know. I don't know if Austin Wells should be up, but it would be a good idea. It would be a fun idea. I'd take it. It would be fun, and it would be something we can learn from. And he's a left-handed guy, right? He's 24. Like, they screwed him already by keeping him in Double-A for 50 extra games, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. At the end of the day, though, what we're really asking for is not for the Yankees to go 30-9 and make the playoffs. We understand the reality behind how difficult that is. What we're asking them to do is something that's going to help them, which is play their prospects, right? It'll keep me engaged. I'll watch and we'll learn something from it. Yes, some of these guys are going to give up, 6-7 runs in a start. Some of these guys are going to go 0 for 10 or 0 for 12 over the stretch of a week, right? These guys are going to struggle. We get that, but you got to get those struggles out the way early. I looked at, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 guys who the Yankees have debuted since 1995 who they either drafted or signed internationally who put up 30 or more F4 for position players. That's Jeter, Gardner, Judge, Cano, Bernie Williams, who we interviewed, and Jorge Posada. And every single one of those guys got off to an extremely slow start in their career. Robinson Cano had a 0.2 F4 in his rookie year and 132 games. He had negative 22 defensive runs saved, Alex, that season. Jeter in his first 51 play appearances in 1995 was not very good. Brett Gardner had a WRC plus below 60 in 2008. Aaron Judge struck out 44% of the time in 2016. Bernie Williams was not very good when he first came up. Jorge Posada was 26 and his career WRC plus was 105. Like, you have to give these guys time to play and develop, right? And it's historically been the way the Yankees have done it, except for right now. Even Anthony Volpe, he's not the same level as those guys, but through his first 2 months, he had a 66 WRC plus and a 30.8% strikeout rate. Since changing his stance, he has a 119 WRC plus and a 23.2% strikeout rate. If you narrow that sample size down to the last 27 games, he's striking out 20.2% of the time, and he has a 133 WRC plus. Rookies get better with playing time, rookies get better with experience, and rookies get better with an avenue to get reps and make adjustments in season. The only team that seems to not understand this is, for some reason, the team that has done it historically, and that's the New York Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, look, right now I'm in the boat that, yes, you kind of referenced this a second ago saying that these prospects, these younger guys are going to struggle, right? Like, they may go 0 for 10 over the course of a couple days, but we're already doing that, guys. Jake Bauers is like 3 for his last 37. Like, IKF is even here beyond this season. Is Billy McKinney here beyond this season? What's the point? Like, what's the harm? What's the downside? Giving them chances, and look, them struggling now is better than them struggling next year when we throw them into the mix because we have to play prospects. We don't know, like, this offseason could be very expensive, and we don't know if Cashman's going to have the financial flexibility that Steinbrenner allows him. If he's here, we assume Cashman will still be here. If Steinbrenner's not willing to give him a lot of money to spend, we have to imagine that they're going to have to cut costs at some points, and that's going to mean relying on prospects. You want to get them at bats now so you don't have to, that extra month, like just like you said yesterday with Carlos Rodon, you want to get those innings up. Same thing as you want to get those at bats. You want them to see Major League pitching. You want them to get that experience and that sample size, because then they go into next year and they actually know what to expect. They know what to see. They're a little comfortable. They've already gotten the jitters out. They know what it's like to play in Yankee Stadium, and at least they're learning how to do it when there's no pressure on them. The Yankees are done. They're out of the playoffs. There's a 0.5% chance that they make the playoffs. They get to go in there and play without any risk of failing in a big moment. Big moment comes, doesn't matter. We're not making the playoffs anyway. This is literally the time to give your prospects opportunities. And I know we're going to keep hammering this home and kind of like beating a dead horse at this point because you guys know our take on this. Now, tomorrow, big series for these prospects if they want to call up and actually give an opportunity. For the Yankees, series doesn't mean anything. Washington Nationals, they're actually doing pretty well right now, and the Yankees are doing 8 games losing streak well. So right now, I'm in the boat of call up Everson Pereira. We had Ben Rortvedt trying to save the day yesterday, for God's sakes. I mean, come on. Like, it's just mind-blowing to me. I mean, I'd rather give Austin Wells at a grand slam yesterday. He's been hitting pretty well the last couple days. Give him an opportunity, see what he can do. You got Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito. Like, let them catch him. Let Austin Wells catch for those guys. They're already getting shelled as it is. Severino, Austin Wells caught him in Double-A when he was doing his rehab assignment. There's already a connection there. Like, why not give Wells a chance to catch Luis Severino? Ryan, what do you think about that prospect? Severy's already struggling. He has a little bit of experience with Austin Wells. He had some really good things to say about him. Do you think there's an opportunity there to give him some opportunity with Luis Severino on the mound, since you're already it's a wash anyway? Maybe throw out Austin Wells, see what he can do?
Yeah, at this point, you're just trying to figure stuff out. Like, again, Severino's going to make that start. And it doesn't matter how he pitches. It does. Like, I'm going to just say it right now. He could throw a perfect game. He's still not a good pitcher, right? Like, it doesn't matter what he does. The perceptions on him is not going to change. So, as you mentioned, just experiment, right? Like, hell, and in Severino's case, like, maybe a new catcher, maybe just something new, right? Like, some pitchers, people are weird, right? Like, players are people and people are weird. And sometimes it takes odd or just things that have no statistical significance for things to make a shift. I mean, Anthony Volpe currently is having a 2-month stretch where he's playing like a 4 to 4.5 WAR player, which is an all-star caliber player, because he had a chicken parm dinner with Austin Wells and they saw something on a film. Like, I promise you, chicken parm has no I can't promise that actually, but I'm more sure than I should be that chicken parm has no statistical significance to Major League success. But sometimes it's weird, just like conversations and baseball conversations and putting people in the right situations and putting people in the right headspace to improve. That might be it, right? And as you mentioned, I mean, no disrespect to Ben Rortvedt, who, let's be real, like, he hasn't even, he's played like, what, 20 MLB games with the Yankees? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they got to DFA him. But, like, Austin Wells is a better player than he is. I think that's not too crazy to say. And he has higher upside. Now, if Wells struggles with the running game, he's going to have to work on that, right? Like, these are things he's going to be able to work on. But who better to work with than Kyle Higashioka, and who could still be with the team? Like, I don't know if Trevino travels with the team, but if Trevino's still with the guys, I mean, who would you rather want Austin Wells to learn from, right? And also, AAA, dude, AAA sucks. Like, AAA is a terrible run environment. That place you're not learning anything from. Number one, pitchers. Their stuff is worse down there. Their movement is not what it is up here. Look at Randy Vasquez. His induced vertical break is completely different at the major league level than it is in the minor league level. The movement profiles are not the same. I mean, the ball is flying down there. Dude, I don't care if you, like Esteban Florial has what, like 30 home runs down there? He's like Barry Bonds. He's Mike Trout, whatever you want to call him down there. I mean, the balls are flying down there, dude. You can't get real analysis out of that. Let me see what they are at the major league level. I think that applies to the pitching too. Like, I've said this before on Twitter. How confident are we that Drew Thorpe would be the worst pitcher in the Yankees rotation right now? I don't think you can really argue that Drew Thorpe is the worst pitcher, would be the worst pitcher in the rotation right now. Is he better than Brito? I think he might be. Is he better than Severino? I think he is. Like, in terms of projected ERA at the very least, his projected ERA right now is 4.4. 4.4. That's better than literally every Yankee starter not named Garrett Cole. I mean, you can't, it's not even 4.4. It's 4.32. That's his projected ERA. Do you want to sit here and tell me that a 4.32 ERA is not good enough to make the Yankee rotation right now? A Yankee rotation that stinks and is injured? I mean, guys are swinging through, like, a swinging strike rate is just the amount of times you swing and miss, not over swings, but over just all pitches seen. Almost 20% of pitches thrown at the minor league level for Drew Thorpe have resulted in a swing and a miss. Like, I'm not saying it's stupid that he's not up. All I'm saying is, I mean, come on. Like, do I care about this Luis Severino start? I don't. Like, I'm not going to watch it and sit there and say, analyzing, taking away this and that. When I watch Brito and Vasquez pitch, I'm trying to learn something from them, even when they don't pitch well. Brito got shelled by the Red Sox, but you're trying to learn something, right? At the end of the day, and I'll pass this off to you like this, Alex, I don't care for half of the guys in the Major League team in terms of their long-term outlook for the Yankees, because most of them don't have a great long-term outlook because they're either A, old, or B, they're not very good in the first place. This team has an opportunity to get no-pressure games for a month and a half where these guys could be terrible and it doesn't affect you. And you can learn something. If Drew Thorpe's a good starter, you don't have to pay for another starter. If Everson Pereira hits, you don't have to get a left fielder. If Austin Wells hits, you have another left-handed bat. I mean, Alex, what could they possibly what could they possibly be seeing, number one? But number two, and kind of more of a positive note, who is the guy that you think could really impact this team? So you can't use Pereira and Wells. Who's the guy you want to see up? I guess a more obscure guy. I don't know.
More of an obscure guy. If it's not going to be Pereira and it's not going to be Wells. That's a good question. I mean, it's too early. You can't promote Dominguez. I mean, he's doing well, but like, it's too soon. I think he needs a little bit of AAA action. Drew Thorpe, do you skip him right past AAA? I mean, he just got to AA. It's probably a little too soon. I don't know. I don't know how many players that we have right now aside from Pereira and Wells, but like you don't need to have a lot more players. Like those two guys are enough to give opportunities to see if you have anything for the future. But guys, I want to read you some quotes here. Just to finish off this episode because I think we want to hear from the players themselves. So Anthony Volpe yesterday says, "I don't think anyone is okay or anything close to that with how we've been playing and the results. Regardless of if anyone's been through it before, I feel like everyone is pretty pissed." I would say pretty pissed should be an understatement. IKF yesterday, after that slide home, they reversed and called out. He's like, getting swept by these guys is definitely tough. Every day we've got to show up and do our job, just find ways to get better. And whatever happens. This can't be happening. So, and then Schmidt goes, it's been a grind recently. We understand that. We understand that this is also baseball and we can pull ourselves out of it. Every time we go out there, we have the ball in our hands. It's not like we don't have an opportunity to win. And Boone said, "We're in a big hole, but you can't even get big picture about it. You've just got to tackle the next day." That's where we're at right now, where we're really scuffling. We played a tight ball game today where guys did some good things to get some big hits. It's one step at a time. We've got to go on a run. Even if they go on a run, it doesn't matter. Like, let's say they win the next 5 games straight. Like, there's still like less than 6-7% chance of making the postseason, guys. I just don't think. I just don't really know what the path forward is here if the Yankees are going to keep going down the current path they're on. The only path is giving prospects opportunities. Like, how much worse could Everson Pereira be? How much worse would Austin Wells be than Ben Wartfett? Like, negligible. It's negligible. Pereira can play multiple outfield positions. You get some knowledge for the future. I just don't really see the downside here. Now, tomorrow could be the day. Maybe they're going to call up a couple guys tomorrow, and we're finally in a place where I can watch Yankee games again. I want to watch Yankee games, guys. I think you guys do too, but I have no interest in watching this team lose in the same exact lineup every single day. I want to see. I will be interested in watching the Yankees game if there is an Everson Pereira out there, if there's an Austin Wells out there getting at bats, major league opportunities. That will get me reinvested because at least we're seeing what the future holds. At least we have something to care about their performance. Right now, I don't give an absolute crap what Severino's doing. I don't care what Billy McKinney is hitting. I want to see Anthony Volpe, but I don't care what DJ LeMahieu's doing at third base. I don't care, what Kyle Higashioka's doing behind the dish. I care what Everson Pereira and Austin Wells and some of these guys can do at the major league level now because that's what the future is. And we're in the future, like, why are we going to bury ourselves in the present? We actually have an opportunity to get at bats to guys that need them. So that's my take. You guys know this, though. Always happy to hear perspectives down below in the YouTube comment section. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.